Have you heard of the Quarantine 15? People across the country are worried about gaining weight during the pandemic. Our city stalwart looked into it, and she says the scale might not be the thing you should be stressing about.
With very few places to go during the pandemic, some may feel like they have one of two places to choose, the couch or the kitchen, and they're worried about gaining weight.
It is more about what you eat than what you weigh.
I spoke to dietitian and nutritionist Becca DeWitt of Nutrition LLC. She says you should be less worried about gaining the Quarantine 15 and start being extra critical about what foods you're putting in your body.
Because people with different body shapes can be healthy. I work with a lot of bariatric patients, and I have seen overweight, obese people who any other way are very healthy.
With less activities to do and more gyms closed now than ever, she says a balanced diet can help you feel your best.
Some lean protein, some whole grains, a cup of vegetables, half a cup of fruit, and some dairy in every meal, and you have everything that you need for a healthy diet. So it's simple, but it's not always easy to do.
And getting your kids involved in making meals could help the whole family.
Kids will actually be more willing to try new things and to eat their meals if they are involved in the preparation process.
Some foods can even help boost your immune system, like citrus.
Things like garlic have anti-inflammatory properties.
When working from home, each day can bring more stress. If you find yourself making your way to the fridge during those times, here are some healthy alternatives.
Something like cheese and crackers, or vegetables and dip, or vegetables and hummus.
Becca DeWitt even suggests starting a garden at this time as a family. Weight gain has always been a concern in our culture, but the only thing you need to worry about now is being happy, healthy, and staying at home. Putting the Valley first, Cindy Stalwart, WZDX News.